Hello and welcome to the Recreatus podcast. This is episode 2, where we'll turn our focus to virtual heritage, the technologies used to enable virtual heritage projects, and the application of virtual heritage to support cultural heritage broadly. In episode 1 of the podcast, we looked at how virtual heritage is part of the broader digital heritage movement. The ability to utilize captured or created representations of heritage objects, places, and landscapes allows us to share information widely and provide access to current interpretations and representations of cultural heritage. In this episode, we will explore how virtual heritage projects seek to provide immersive, interactive experiences of heritage landscapes and objects. Virtual heritage has been a developing area in the cultural heritage space for several decades. As the hardware and software capabilities of computers have increased, so too have the ways that we have applied them to heritage projects. From data creation and collection techniques to visualization and simulation representations, the ability to capture, study, and share cultural heritage objects and areas in multiple dimensions through computer technology has opened up a wealth of opportunity for presenting information about objects and places with cultural meaning. Let's begin by looking at how cultural heritage objects can be recorded and modeled with digital technologies. For example, 3D models of cultural objects can be created through the use of photogrammetric techniques, such as structure from motion, which uses overlapping perspective of a series of photos. We can also use stereophotography to capture side-by-side images that replicate human stereo vision. Direct measurements of objects and areas can be created using LiDAR technology to capture the surface of an object or physical space. The Smithsonian Institution's 3D digitization project, Smithsonian 3D, is a multi-year project that has used 3D scanning technology to create 3D digital models of thousands of cultural resources that include single artifacts such as a cuneiform tablet from Iraq, burials from the Jamestown colony, and pop culture objects such as Lieutenant Uhura's dress from the TV show Star Trek. Virtual heritage also provides us with tools and methods to recreate or reconstruct cultural heritage, especially cultural landscapes and the features within them. Virtual reconstruction can be understood as a process of recreating an object or space from the past that is no longer extant by using available historical evidence, scholarly research, and technical expertise to develop a digital 3D representation of that place or object within a computer environment. The use of drawing and painting techniques to recreate past places and landscapes is a long-tested method in archaeological and historical scholarship, as well as in art. The development of computer graphical capabilities has driven the push to use digital representations that can equal or even surpass more traditional artistic renderings by allowing immersive exploration of heritage. For cultural heritage landscapes that are still extant in some form, one of the most straightforward ways of creating a virtual heritage platform or application is to use digital documentation, such as 360 photography or video, and then embedding resources within an application that can simulate a 3D experience. The user navigates around within the photo or video space using button clicks to move and look around. An example of this type of virtual heritage experience is the Emperor Qin Shi Mausoleum Virtual Museum, as you can see here. This is, of course, the famous site of the terracotta warrior army guarding the emperor's tomb, which has been under excavation since 1974. Although there are many examples of representing a real-world location in a virtual heritage environment, one of the most impressive projects to date has been the IBM-led Beyond Space and Time, where John Tolva and his team scanned the structures and landscapes of Beijing's Forbidden City to create a multi-user virtual representation of China's Imperial Palace complex and its landscape. Within the virtual Forbidden City, users could select an avatar from among several historical personas from the Chinese emperor's court and explore the Forbidden City, both with exteriors and selected interior spaces. In addition, embedded multimedia objects such as text and photos gave explanation for places within the palace landscapes, the purposes of its structures, and selected cultural objects throughout the complex. Developed and presented to China in the run-up to the 2008 Beijing Olympics, the Beyond Space and Time project was arguably one of the most advanced virtual heritage projects of its time. Unfortunately, access to the immersive virtual world was limited as it was taken offline after only a short time. The virtual world SecondLife, developed by Linden Lab, also offered a platform for many virtual heritage projects, large and small, since the early 2000s. From a reconstruction of the USS Kitty Hawk aircraft carrier to a recreation of the Japanese Suguro Castle or the medieval French site of Mont Saint Michel. Second Life had a low barrier to entry for academics and other non experts in the fields of 3D modeling and computer development, as it was free to use and explore, although building custom places requires the purchase of land within the Second Life virtual world and access to skills and computing tools to construct virtual places. While the visual representation of an artifact, a structure, or a landscape is often the focus of virtual heritage projects, the incorporation of embedded multimedia data that can be used to build a deeper, more immersive reconstruction of environments has been utilized in a wide range of projects. Audio elements can be added to the environment to provide context, such as a sense of time, representation of the social experience, or simply to narrate the user's passage through the space. Additional photos, video, or other media can be embedded within the virtual environment through pop-ups or virtual displays so that the user can engage with contextual content to gain additional information about the artifact or landscape. This mechanism for embedding multimedia was popularized by Google Earth, which was released in 2005. Google Earth Tours was a functionality that gave creators tools to generate a spatial story of places and landscapes with text, photo, audio, and video information embedded in stops along the way. In the entertainment-driven world of video games, where state-of-the-art technology and narrative design has brought us amazing immersive and interactive virtual representations of historical landscapes, the game studio Ubisoft has been especially successful in historical recreations with its Assassin's Creed series. In fact, in the releases Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Ubisoft utilized the historical research that goes into their game development to create an educational mode called Tours that allows users to explore the virtual environments of ancient Alexandria in Origins and ancient Greek city-states in Odyssey through the use of embedded multimedia. An example of these discovery tours in Assassin's Creed Origins can be seen in this tour of a recreated tomb of Alexander the Great in Alexandria. As the users move through the recreated landscapes of ancient Greece in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, they can also interact with individual pieces of content in the form of discovery sites. When the user presses the button to interact, they are shown an image of an artifact from the area or region. A second click to learn more brings up a text description and background information about the object, including its source and location. For us, the question often is, what is our goal in developing such immersive and interactive platforms? A significant part of the appeal of virtual heritage recreations is the ability to create an explorable, interactive space that plays on the very human desire to see forgotten and vanished places and imagine ourselves traveling through time and space to experience human life in other cultures and times. Even when those landscapes are still recognizable and accessible, virtual heritage can allow us to peel back layers and build a recreation of a specific moment in time and almost see a place or landscape as it once was. More importantly, we can use ever more powerful digital tools to enhance that immersive experience with embedded information and interpretive content, deepening our sense of connection as we learn about the rich stories of the people who created the cultural objects and spaces that came before us.